Hi guys, welcome back to another Goalkeeper Reviews for You video. Today I'm going to be jumping on this tier list trend and I'm going to be ranking every single Premier League goalkeeper's gloves for this season. Let's get into the video. Remember guys to like the video and please subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upload. Let's go straight into this tier list. So yes guys, to start off this tier list I have Aaron Ramsdale Adidas Predator Hybrid Promo gloves. So I think I'll put these in would buy as they provide great grip and great performance in game. But actually the URG 1.0s don't have great durability, and I know lots of people out there will definitely not have the resources to buy brand new gloves every other game or every game. So therefore actually I think I'll put them in poor, as they just would not be able to last you even half a season, providing that grip that you need to play. So next up on the list we have Alisson Becker, who has recently made the switch to the Reusch Attract X Evo gloves. What's interesting about this is that he's made this switch at the same time as two other high profile keepers in Camino Kelleher and Dean Henderson, who have all come from different gloves in the past, such as the Nikes and the Adidas Predators. So these gloves must be a would buy consideration if such high profile keepers are making the switch from such different range of gloves. So that's why I'll put them in would buy. Next up on this tier list we have Alphonse Areola, who wears the All Sport Powerline Super Grip Plus, but they're in a custom classic cut, which obviously you cannot buy online as they are personalised to him, which means he'll have the Powerline backhand but a custom negative cut palm, which would just be completely flat, which personally I do not like, as I prefer the wrap around the finger, as I just believe that gives you more grip. But All Sport are known for having great latex, so therefore they can't be rated that poorly, so I think I'm just going to have to put them in meh. Next up we have Andre Onana, who wears Rinat NCAM Pro Onana model gloves. So I don't know much about these gloves as it's obviously a small glove company, but I do remember a game in the wet when he was rubbing Vaseline all over his gloves, which I think just questions the confidence he has in the gloves in wet conditions. Therefore I do like supporting smaller glove brands, but these just don't sound like they'll be any good, so I have to put them in Hublot. Shout out to Nico Leonard as well for coming up with these great tier list levels, and Hublot is probably the lowest you'll be able to go.
Hublot. Hublot has its own category, right? We'll put that in the Hublot category. Because there is indeed something worse than a trash can.
Next up on the tier list we have Aro Muric, who wears an older model of the Adidas Predator Pro Hybrids. So as they're an older model, I believe they would be URG 2.0, which would provide greater durability for the gloves, and personally I think that is great. So if you can find these, I'd definitely buy them, as they're normally a much cheaper price than the top end URG 1.0 model, and for the performance they're giving you, they've got to be class. Next up we have Brighton's goalkeeper Bart Verbruggen, who wears RWLK original design gloves. So as you guys at home and me, I have no idea what this glove company is, and as a goalkeeper myself, I know I can be quite superstitious, so I believe these gloves might be a superstitious reason for wearing them, which means he might not be in for all the quality and the design of them. It might just be the feeling and the confidence that they give him. Therefore, with my lack of knowledge and beliefs about that, I think they have to go in meh. So after Verbruggen we have Bert Leno, who wears Puma Ultimate Pro Hybrid gloves. Lots of goalkeepers have been wearing these gloves and I've heard great things about them, and I think Puma are definitely taking a step forwards in their glove designs, as in the past they have been pretty poor. So obviously everyone's aware of the quality control issues with Puma gloves, with some of them being really durable and great and other ones falling apart the first time you're wearing them. But I think they've put that to one side for now and have created some half decent gloves. But because of that, I don't think I can put them in the top tier bracket. But if they were on a good deal and special offer, I think I definitely would pick them up. So I put them in, I would buy them. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the Puma gloves and the goalkeepers that wear them. So those are Leno, Ederson and Pickford. My only drawback with these gloves is that none of them look alike, which just shows how custom made these goalkeepers are getting their Puma gloves. Therefore it actually could be very difficult to buy them, as you don't actually know what you're getting, as they're different from the pros wear. So therefore with that ambiguity, I think I'd have to drop them into the meh category. Okay, so next up we have David Raya, the Arsenal goalkeeper, who wears the One Glove David Raya SMU edition. My only problem with this glove is that it's only available in size 11 on the One Glove website, which means if you are not that size, like me, that is very difficult to get hold of, and it means it's very custom made, so lots of people find it difficult to fit them. But if it does fit you, it means you have a professional goalkeeper's custom specs that are available to you and on a regular basis, so that can't be bad. So I think personally I wouldn't buy them as they wouldn't fit me, but they're not poor, so they have to go in meh. Also, One Glove have released a Type R version, which is a step down customer version, which isn't going to be the same quality or the same design to David's specs, but it does mean it's available for customers. They are in all sizes, so they are available to everyone. So there's drawbacks to every decision that you make here. However, they're surely better than the Puma gloves, because One Glove are trying to make them available to people, unlike Puma. So surely they have to be better than them. So that might be why I'll move them up a tier. I think I will actually, because it's better than what Puma are doing, and they can't be in the same category as them then. After that we have Dorade Petrovic, who is the current Chelsea goalkeeper, who wears RG Aspro gloves. So obviously he's broken into the first team, and he obviously hasn't decided to change gloves yet, which means obviously calls to the quality of these gloves, as he hasn't gone to a big company yet, which means he must like them. So, and if I had the chance to try them, I'm sure I would, but I'm not sure I'd be able to buy them anywhere, which does cause a bit of a dilemma. But if they were available to me, I wouldn't mind trying them, and I'd definitely see what they're like, so I'd have to put them in would buy. Yes guys, I've just finished watching the FA Cup semi-final between Chelsea and Manchester City, and as I'm sure most of you noticed, and so that I noticed, Petrovic has swapped to the Roche Attract X Evo gloves. Like I said in the video, it was difficult to make this tier list as goalkeepers in the Premier League switch their gloves all the time, but if you noticed this and were a bit confused by the video, I apologise. We made a video before this switch, and hopefully it doesn't make too much of an impact on the tier list, but I'll join you back to me from earlier when I was filming the video, and enjoy it. Next up we have World Cup winner Emi Martinez, who wears Adidas Predator GL competitions, but in a completely custom made latex design and palm design, but they are made to look like the gloves that you can buy off Adidas's website, which I'm not really a fan of, as the spec you're going to be getting is nothing like his gloves, which I think is very poor on Adidas's side, and therefore I think they have to go in the poor category next to Ramsdale. Yeah, he's a very interesting goalkeeper at the moment, especially with the penalty shootout against Lille that happened last night, with him getting 2 yellow cards, which obviously didn't result in a red card, as all your yellow cards are wiped from the game as soon as a penalty shootout happened. But yeah, he's definitely an interesting character, and one that I continue to enjoy watching because of the chaos he causes on the pitch. Okay, so next we're going to go on to more all-sport goalkeepers. So we have Vicario, Gerbic, Trafford and Neto, who all sport Powerline gloves. But surprisingly, they all wear different latexes. Vicario and Gerbic both wear Absolute Grip latex, whilst Trafford and Neto wear Absolute Grip latex. Which also creates an interesting question, as all sport have created a compromise which creates a line down the middle of the palm with the Absolute Grip on one side, Super Grip on the other side, and obviously none of them have gone for that, which obviously questions the quality of the gloves that are made like that. So therefore I think I put the Super Grips in Woodbye and the Absolute Grips in the meh category. So next up we've got another Brighton goalkeeper in Jason Steele, who wears Sells Contour Aquafit. I have a bone to pick with Sells because personally I absolutely hate Sells gloves, as they sell gloves to people as a consumer at a very high price for very little quality. Therefore I don't care if these gloves are any good in game, I think I just got to put them straight in Hublot. Plus they sell them with the Aquafit technology, which I believe is just all made up. I hate the wet weather technology that they try and sell on their gloves, saying that it improves performance in wet conditions, as all latex works better when it's wet. That's just common knowledge between goalkeepers. They got to go in Hublot for me. However, if Sells want to prove me wrong and send me a pair of gloves, I can't be bought. My opinions will always be honest, and I'll do an in-depth review of them, and if I actually think they're good, I'll release a video and say that I was wrong on camera. So my opinions can change depending on my experiences with the gloves. Next up we have Wolves goalkeeper Jose Star, who recently... Did I say Star? I did say Star. I did say Star. Sorry, not Jose Star, I mean Jose Star, the Wolves goalkeeper, who has recently switched from Adidas gloves to Elite R2 Neo Combi. So obviously I've never heard of these gloves before, and obviously when his Adidas contract ran out a couple weeks ago, he obviously went for gloves that he likes the look of, because I do not think that this company would be able to match the contract that he was on at Adidas. Also, it's a simple black and white design, and I've heard that white latex gives better in-game performance as it hasn't been dyed, so it's as natural as possible. Therefore I think if I got the opportunity to, I think I would buy them, but actually that doesn't mean I'm just buying them off endorsement, which I probably shouldn't, so therefore I think I'd have to drop them down to meh. Next up we have Lucas Fabianski, who wears Adidas Predator Pro finger save model glove, which personally I've always never liked finger save models, as I know lots of goalkeepers who wore finger saves and still came out with really bad finger injuries. They're great for young kids who wants to build up confidence in their hands and their handling, but as an older, more mature goalkeeper, they make your hands look massive, like you're wearing a costume, and I just don't like the concept. Therefore they've got to be in Hublot for me. Okay, so next up we've got Brentford goalkeeper Mark Flecken, who wears a Puma Future Ultimate glove but with an embossed palm, which personally I love the embossed palm. It's on my Adidas Predator GL Pro gloves, and they just stop that bunching up which you can see on lots of gloves, and I think that's great. But however, it is a custom design, so it's got a custom backhand and a custom palm, so you probably wouldn't be able to buy them. But if you could buy them, I think I would love them, and therefore they've got to go in class. Next up we have Martin Dubravka, who's been playing for Newcastle this season, who's been wearing One Glove Geo 3.0 MD2s, but has recently switched over to a very custom Midnight model, which obviously speaks values about this glove, which means it can't be any good. Plus, the gloves that you see on TV, you think it has the X-Wrap design that comes with most One Glove gloves, but that's actually painted on, which is really dodgy, and I think that's should be stopped, as you're buying a product which is displayed differently on TV when he's wearing them. So because they are super custom and they are displayed to show something else, they've got to go in the bottom tier of Hublot. Next up we have Matt Sells, who wears real 450 Pro Aqua Flat gloves, which obviously are very custom designed gloves. They're not going to be the same as the ones you buy from the shop, so therefore you can't really rank them yourself, but as they're trying to display something else, I think they have to go in the poor category. Okay, so next up I've got Nick Pope, who's one of my favourite goalkeepers, as obviously he did play for Burnley, but then there's a bit of a predicament as he does wear Sells Total Contact Aqua Pure grips. But it's my video, I can do what I want. I love the goalkeeper, so I'm going to stick him in God tier. As anyway, I've already stuck a Sells pair in Hublot, so I'm going to have haters coming for me anyway, but I don't really care. And I can do what I like. It's my opinion. Put yours down in the comment section down below, as you know I'll read through all the comments. On to the next goalkeeper, who is Robert Sanchez, who has just recently switched from the Nike Mercurial gloves, which obviously have a history known for ripping around the knuckles. I've seen it myself during goalkeeper training, and they have had very poor durability issues, but he wore them for a couple of years, which means he must have had some superstitious belief or must have liked them. But recently he switched over to the Nike Vapor Dynamic Fit. So personally I would have stuck these in poor because of personal experience, because I went to Nike Town in London quite recently, and the selection of gloves they had there to try on was really odd and really poor. But if I had a chance to put them on, I'm sure they'd be really good, as they're a tight design on the hand which I like. So I think if I had the choice of wearing them and recording them, I'm sure they'd be a class glove. Next up we've got Sam Johnston, who wears Sells Profile Aqua Pure gloves. Obviously I'm not a massive fan of Sells gloves, but he's obviously had a horrific injury in the last couple of weeks, breaking his arm, and we all wish him a speedy recovery, and we're all part of that GK union together. We've all got to support each other, so therefore I'm going to put him there next to all these other goalkeepers to hopefully give him all the support he can in his recovery and be back up on that pitch playing and competing against other goalkeepers soon. So next up we've got Stefan Ortega and Thomas Klaminski, who both wear Titan Beast 3.0 white edition. So I've had a couple of young keepers and subscribers in the comments telling me to review these gloves, and they've got nothing to gain by lying to me, so I think they must be good. Therefore if I got the chance to, I would buy them. So they both got to go in that would buy category to round off this tier list. Yes guys, that's the end of this video. Obviously you can see on the screen now my final tier list. I'm sure there'll be lots of disagreements with me, so get your opinions down in the comment section down below. Thank you for making it the full way through the video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you in an upload very soon. Bye bye.